sometimes we need people like that in our lives, right?
Yeah.
People who
Yeah.
believe in us, even when we can't see it ourselves, who
Yes.
empower us, who speak life into us. And she did that for me.
You got me thinking then while you were speaking. Can you give us some examples of what discipline looks like on the ground? Because an
Yeah,
undisciplined person won't know.
right, right. And and sometimes as maybe a creative person or an artist type, you're probably thinking like you don't necessarily need discipline. But some of the most successful artists and creatives are disciplined. It may be a little different than others, but at least for me, I'll give you a personal example. Like several years ago, because my schedule is fairly flexible, I was like, I'm just going to bed at any time, and then I get up at any time. I start to work at any time. I do things at any time, and I was getting things done, but I didn't feel like necessarily productive,
Yeah.
and and I thought, man, I would love to get up a little earlier, start my day centered in reflection and prayer. I started journaling, to kind of keep myself flowing in a good direction. So I started to go to bed early and then get up early. And that has been with me now, a couple years now, where I'm just like, I go to bed early and I get up early. And when I get up early the night before, I look at the what I have going on the next day,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
plan it out the night before. It does. So my day starts the night before, and so when I get up, I already know like the type of day I want to have, the things I want to get done. I have a to-do list. I have goals weekly, goals yearly. I have goals of where I want to be in 5 and 10 years, what I want to do, what I want to accomplish. I'm already writing my third book, and
So
that
good.
takes discipline. It takes
Does.
discipline
It
to sit
does.
down and write and,
Yeah.
and I'm not perfect with it. And I've definitely learned to be kind to myself. That's something that we all should do, is be kind to yourself. But you need to have some discipline. Sometimes when we hear other businesses or people say that there's a guarantee on something, we will call them out if they don't fulfill that, right? But sometimes we don't call ourselves out on the guarantees that we need to do to ourselves, And so for me, I'm like, I'm going to bed early, to get up early, to have a good day, to have a productive day, to serve, to empower. And so I think that's for me. I don't know, what would it mean for you, but
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. For myself personally, I think I've come to realize the early bird certainly does catch the worm.
yeah. And it's not to be like legalistic or like, right, because for some people it may be that you have a different schedule. It's okay, but what is the order of your schedule? There has to be some type of order to it,
Yeah, yeah,
And so for me, it was going to bed early, getting up early. There are certain things that I don't watch, certain things I really try to refrain from listening to. If music is just talking, about things that really don't edify me, that don't lift me up, I don't listen to it. I used to,
yeah.
but I don't do that anymore. Like conversations that are not necessarily fruitful for me, I'm just like, all right, I'm out of here,
You
and
zone out.
like, yeah, I'm out,
Yeah,
and I'm better than that, and people
yeah.
are like, oh, that's here, that's arrogant. It's like, no, I just know who I am and I know where I'm going, and it's not in alignment, even
Yes,
with family. It's
yes.
hard with family because that's your family, and but there's been times when I've cut off family members because it's
Okay.
just like,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay. I was actually going to go there. Yeah, I was going to go there because, we're living in a society now where it's very much about, all cancel culture, cancel culture. No, but hang on a minute. Sometimes you need to cut some toxic people out.
that's right. And that needs to be sacred for us, right? Like, if someone is not caring about your mental, physical, spiritual, emotional well-being, and if you've communicated to them several times, hey, this doesn't sit well with me, or when you do this or say these things, I'm not comfortable, and they just do it, and it's just like, then it doesn't matter if we have the same blood or not.
Yeah.
My own mental, well-being is more important, and I didn't always think like that, you know especially when you're not really flowing in who you really are, your identity, it's not solid. You kind of like wishy-washy on those things. You go with the flow because you just want to fit in.
Yeah.
And my fitting in days are over,
Yeah.
like, actually, to be most effective, I've learned that you're gonna stick out,
Come
and
on.
stick out like a sore thumb, right?
Yeah.
Because why aren't you flowing with the traditional, with the norm? And it's like, no, because I have greater things I need to accomplish. And so
Yes.